Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, J. Nicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo?
Hey y'all, it's your girl J. Nicole, where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving you feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_BougieAF. I'm also on them people's Twitter, known as now X, at I'm_Bougie_AF. Alright y'all, so let's get into it. So I did a video last night where I told you guys I was going to be cutting up and doing different videos of the latest Corey Holcomb show that has gone viral. And it's his show, It Must Be Said. Let me put it on the screen for you. It Must Be Said. I thought there was just so much content here to talk about, and it interested me, right? So we're getting back into doing videos. We're not going to do I have a whole video where I talk a little bit, like, about what's going on and whatever. So I'm going to post that too, but yeah, so we're getting back into it. Like I said, I am intrigued. I've always loved this type of comedy. Like, I don't like that sensitive shit. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought comedy was like kind of dying a little bit because people, the politically correct crowd. And I don't know if I said this on the mic, but I have said it in terms of like sometimes putting my thoughts out there about the different communities, like the LGBT plus community, who's really sensitive and have issues with Dave Chappelle and stuff like that, using their community in his comedy. And I literally had to get to that place where I was like, well, as a black woman, and I sit and look at Medea, look at Martin, Shanae, and look at all these things, white chicks and all this other stuff. There's so much of like who black women are infused into comedy and made fun of, right? So I just, at the end of the day, I just feel like everyone is a butt of the joke, right? If you go back historically and look at like shows like Martin, right? Like we literally were laughing at Roscoe, like a disabled kid. We did. We love that shit. And I still do love that shit. And the shit's still funny. But at the same time, we are laughing at a disabled kid. And there's no way of sugarcoating that's what it is, right? But this part of the interview, Dave Chappelle calls out Steven Jackson. I mean, he does not say his name, but we know for what he is saying and that he's most definitely talking about Steven Jackson, because the Cat Williams interview on Shay Shay brought out all the haters. It really did. It brought out all the haters, and it brought out people like Dave Chappelle, and I'm going to talk about that because there's another portion of the clip where Corey calls out Dave Chappelle and let it be known that nigga, you out here bombing and folks ain't telling the truth around like what it is, right? So that's another video. But so it brought out Dave Chappelle. It brought out, of course, fat fucking Faison Love, who is always talking shit and hating. I think that's his number one job. Like, I don't remember seeing him in movies. There's no specials. Everyone has already called it out. Like, dude, you literally just sit on YouTube in interviews and just hate on people. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, and I'm not someone who says that you can't speak your opinion truthfully. And if you really feel strongly about something, not state it for what it is. But nigga, when you start saying people who we know are talented is not talented, like when you said to Cat Williams, like, what did he say? Anyone can do a special, but you don't got one. Yeah, I don't know, like, dude, go lose some weight, get healthy because you don't look healthy, like, and get back out there. Like, that's just what it is. But it brought out the haters. That's my point. Like, the interview brought out the haters. And so Dave Chappelle, Faison Love, and a few other people, that Cookie Hall situation, that's a nasty piece of situation there. Miss Cookie Hall, I remember you came out during the talk with the whole Tamar and Lonnie Love situation, and you were supposedly writing for Lonnie Love and all this other stuff, but you were her friend and she was confiding in you and how she was hating on Tamar and shit and writing to the executives, emailing the executives and all types of shit like that. And you came out to say that she was just a hater and stuff like that. But all I'm saying, I think you were 100% right with that Tamar and Lonnie Love situation, because Tamar has to understand, when you are that talented and you that big of a personality, and you are around other women who aren't secure in themselves and who don't stand out in any type of way. And I think she just learned that with that what's that girl in Miami? Oh, I think she lives in Atlanta now, but I know she was having a little back and forth with, what is that girl, the Haitian girl? She was having a little back and forth with the Haitian girl. Oh, damn, I can't think of her name. I can't think of her name right now, and that's the point, right? I can't think of her name right now, and nobody can really kind of think of her name right now. And that's not to say that she ain't got no fans and stuff like that, but she's not Miss Tamar Braxton, sister of living legend Toni Braxton. Like, this is not what we're talking about. And so sometimes you do have to say, like, listen, I know we are not on the same level. You may be suffering, and no, the real talk, because I've been around ugly duckling syndrome. Like, you may have all of that going on. You may have all that going on. You got to be honest about that shit. Like, you can't bring that vibe, that dopeness around everybody. Like, some people can't understand it. You know what I mean? They start talking about humbling yourself and all types of weirdo shit. You know what I mean? So it brought everybody out. Is basically what I'm saying. But in one of the haters that came out was Steven Jackson. If you don't know, Steven Jackson is a former basketball player, now podcaster with pretty hair Matt Barnes. And I guess they have a really pretty good podcast. I don't tune in. For me, and maybe I have taken a side in terms of Kwame Brown calling out Steven Jackson and what's his name, Matt Barnes. But I will say, though, my own personal shit, like, Steven Jackson just seems lame, right? Like, if I start looking at you a little bit and I'm questioning everything from you supposedly Muslim to you on O Block with the gang, throwing up the signs and you know what I mean? Like, I just can't get with that type of hypocrisy that exists in anybody. So, yeah, it just seemed lame as fuck. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. But so Steven Jackson, he has a podcast. He interviews celebrities, and I guess he came out and said that after the Cat Williams on Shay Shay, that he said that he would not allow Cat Williams to have said all of that he said, because he has relationships with people, and the people that he would have been talking about, let's say if it was him and some people he knew, those are his friends, so he wouldn't have allowed him to do all of that, and that's bad for business. And you hear Corey address him in the bullshit he's saying, because as someone who has interviewed people before, and someone who likes raw and uncensored content, no, you just mind your fucking business. Like, you let that person say whatever they want. These are grown-ass men, right? And so even though they may be your friends, that doesn't change your relationships with those people. You're not joining in. You're not adding to it, right? You have no control over what comes out of somebody's mouth. So for me, that's too much of the go along, get along gang in terms of like not being truthful and letting things just be organically what it is, right? So that turns me off, right? Like, what do you mean you're going to censor? What do you mean you're going to tell somebody what they can and cannot say? Like, I don't want to tune into that. I want what we got from Cat Williams. I want that from everybody. Like, show up authentically. That's what that means, right? Show up authentically. I know people like to make up words and change shit around nowadays, but that's what that means, right? And so when people aren't doing that, or would not let their guests do that, then I don't think your product is all that good, right? That's just me. All right, so we're going to get into it. Corey Holcomb addresses it, and here we go. Like I said, he doesn't say his name, but you know who he's talking about. And I think, like I said, I think he makes a lot of valid points.
It ain't the Incredibles, but it's like that motherfucker. I know he fucked them kids up when they were rolled by the school bus.
So I ain't trying to drive it much longer. I'm gonna go into this thing. This is another thing that's gonna make some people mad. I have noticed that a lot of people are saying, let me just use Cat for an example. See, that's why I say he's necessary, because I know everybody gonna be able to understand this. Mm-hmm. If Cat was on my show, I'd have stopped him. I wouldn't have let him talk about certain people, because I got friends. I want to talk about people
That's exactly what Steven Jackson said. So, I mean, like I said, he's not going to say his name, and I'm most definitely going to put it in the title. And I know Corey can respect, the game, so it is what it is.
To try to control what people say if you have them as a guest on your show or if you interviewing somebody. If you think you can control what a motherfucker say, that's female traits.
Facts.
That's real shit.
That's why what's ended up being so good is that he did give him.
Shannon Sharp
his-
let Cat.
Yeah.
He's like, you here, alley-oop, and it was good for a lot of reasons. Look, I mean, the motherfucking interview. Goddamn it, this motherfucker is it the top of all times?
Oh,
I know it's the top in the nigga kingdom.
Yeah, nigga them for sure.
it
but
broke
In
it.
the
I
black
think it's most-
black
yeah,
kingdom, the Cat interview was tops. Now, for all you people who think you can control what people say, please don't ask me to do no interview with you, because if you stop me from talking, I'm gonna walk out.
Facts.
Who in the fuck out here gonna tell me what the fuck I can say? Now, I get it. Like, if you're doing press, they don't want you cursing.
Right.
A lot of the people who steal my show, they don't want me cursing because they got to bleep it out.
Or do you?
So they can get their YouTube sponsorship money or whatever. But I'm saying, like,
What if they was paying you?
but if somebody paying me for an interview, how much money you got?
And how
If
about
you telling me what I can and can't say?
And how about the opposite, Corey? In other words, Kat's situation with Wanda, where he said, when they said she wanted him to go on there, right? He said, okay, well, not going to talk about this, 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 and this, right? You're only going to speak about, what was it that he got that year? The Emmy or something like that?
Right.
And then when she didn't, that's when stuff started going haywire, right? So that's similar, right? Just the opposite of what you're talking about. But in his case, he said that not to bring that stuff up. And
He
she
told her
did.
don't. Okay.
Or she told him, I'm not gonna talk about it. These other things, okay, So because that's what he
They do that shit too. Yeah, they'll
where you
bring
say
up
don't
the-
bring
Well,
that
I'm
up,
just
and
saying,
then
if
they,
you-
and they
if
put
you-
you in that seat, right?
If you interviewing somebody, you don't need to be so cocky where you can tell them what they can and can't say. Because I'm just saying, I really don't take interviews like that like I used to.
But
I got
you
my
can.
own platform. If I do an interview for you, then basically I'm giving you money. If I do an interview, man, I give people, man, when I was coming in here, the homie told me, Corey, that little drop you did for me, man, everybody would, man, motherfuckers be watching it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not quick to just do interviews for anybody because I don't like passing out money like that. Like, I'm just giving you money if I do an interview. But if I do an interview and you try to tell me what I can and can't say,
That's what, yeah.
Audi 5000.
Yeah.
When the last time you heard that?
Man.
Would you
Bring it
ever
back,
tell somebody?
bring it
I'm
back,
gone.
Yeah.
Would you ever tell
Yeah.
somebody they can't ask you something, or that they don't need to bring up something in the interview?
Say that again.
Would you, like, if you were going to get interviewed, would you ever tell somebody they can't bring up something? Or
I mean, I don't know. It ain't much I'm worried about.
That's what I was gonna say. He's different. You know what I'm saying?
It
The
ain't
kind of
much I'm
character
worried
he's-
about, man. I got all kind of shit going on in my life, but it ain't nothing. I ain't worried about it. What do I do that I'm worried about? You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I can't think of it. I'm a loner.
And I said this last night in my other video that I totally agree. And when you're getting into this game or want to be a part of this, like, look over your life, get very comfortable with it inside and out in terms of the things that are going to come up, because there are going to be those and people who are going to find their way. And I know, because I've seen it locally, where people have came back from 20 years with a story of nothingness to tell on a motherfucker. And it's sort of like, yo, I still think you corny. I still stand on that, right? So you gotta be real comfortable and be like, yo, I don't have no fear about anything. I just know who I am and how I've shown up. So whether or not it's a conversation about whether or not you like me or not, like, fuck about that. Like, if we're not talking about me doing something to you, we ain't really talking about nothing. You just want some attention. That's how it's going to come across to me. Because if you not liking me is nothing to talk about. Come to that conclusion for yourself. Deal with me accordingly. And can we move the fuck on? Because the problem is that people be bothered that you don't give a fuck about them not liking you. I will be totally fine. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, and I thought Corey Holcomb was correct on, and we're going to end it there because it then goes into his daughter, and we have another video for that. But the other thing that I thought was extremely interesting, where he's talking about, if I do interviews, I'm literally giving you money, right? And that's the part of knowing your worth, right? And he knows that, right? So if you had stipulations and told him that you can't say this and this and that, are you serious? I'm putting money in your pocket, right? Because you're not paying me probably what I make on my own, right? And I know you actually come up much more off of me than I'm going to come up off of you. That's not how this works, baby. You most definitely can't tell me what to say. So, like I said, he did not say Steven Jackson's name, but we know for damn sure that's what Steven Jackson said. I might go find this clip. Let me see if I can find a clip real quick. If I can't, like I said, see, Steven Jackson. I said Steven, my bae, Steven Smith. I got a couple bays out there, y'all. Okay? They run the gamut. Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson. Okay, here we go. Steven Jackson, Cat Williams. And Shannon Sharp has responded. That's another one of my bays. Oh my God, my bays be in the same social circle. Oh my gosh. My bays be in the same social circle. All right, y'all. So I found a clip that that's been dwindled down, and I got it to a point where it's going to pick up a lot of what, it's literally under a minute of what Steven Jackson had to say. Hating ass Steven Jackson, okay? And I don't know if you guys ever checked out DreamersPRO show. It's one of the shows I actually really do like. I love his delivery. I really fuck with some of the things and his opinions. And it's not over sensationalized, and it's not trying to be extra, but there's times I like extra, right? So this is not a knock to extra, but there's times where I want my information that I am going to listen to and absorb to come in a very clean, precise type of delivery. And so this is one of those people for me. Clean, precise delivery. Not meaning clean and no smearing, but clean, like lack of extraness, and sort of like what we used to get in old journalism. Where they just told you what it is without an opinion, without trying to be too much, or it coming across that they are, rooting for one side versus the other. And that's so important. So a balanced perspective. But yeah, here we go. So this is DreamersPRO, and I believe his name's Charles. So go check that out, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will most definitely put the link in the comments. The link in my in the description. So let me go ahead and get that together right now, because I be forgetting it ain't nothing personal. I do majority of my content without having to use other people's content, so it's not nothing personal on my end, and I'm not trying to like cover up where I got things from, and it's out there, like you can see it. So I know people can be really, really sensitive, but I necessarily don't know if I feel like you need to be, since that's just not my style of moving. Like, there are some people, their entire hold on one second, I'm doing something at all. Their entire content is just taking other people's shit. They don't speak that much. They just do a little introduction and play somebody else's shit. I don't necessarily find that to be creative, right? I think you can easily see what's trending and do that. And I don't necessarily look at them people as creators. I look at them as great editors. Like, I think creators are those who speak, put things together, that shows more than just taking someone's stuff. So, all right, here we go.
We already spoke on Cat. Cat a real one. He spoke his mind. Everybody should speak their mind. That's just what it is. I wouldn't let him go hard as he did on a lot of people on our show. I just wouldn't, because we got relationships with him. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. You don't have a show, so you wouldn't know what you would do. We've done hundreds of shows, so we know how to handle that type of shit. The whole world talking about the Cat interview. The whole world. Everybody giving their opinions. But I can't speak on it because
That whole "I wouldn't let them" is so fucking crazy. You wouldn't let another adult do what? Like, interview over. Like, I most definitely feel Corey Holcomb. Like, are you out of your mind? What you mean you won't let me? Like, who the fuck? Like, what? No, that's not how that goes, like, in life ever. Like, and I've had to interview people, and I don't tell people not to speak their mind. Like, I don't understand, like, even wanting to tell people to speak their mind. Now, if people that you fuck with, like, this is the thing with Steven Jackson. He doesn't understand, like, you still have a street mentality that is really disgusting at your age, right? And I understand, like, oh, you know, in the street, you don't let nobody talk about your friends and stuff like that, and I get it. But again, this is not the streets, and someone was, you know, telling their opinion about somebody in there and talking about their experience. That's not really the same thing, and I think that comes with a certain level of maturity that people have to. You can't tell somebody what their experience is with somebody. I don't give a fuck how much you may love that person, right? Or how much you may fuck with them, and how much they may be a good person for you. But if my experience speaks to something completely different, you can't take that from me, and I think that that's really hard for some people. Right? And so that whole don't let nobody talk. No, I'm going to say how I feel. Right? You can then say how you feel and what your experience is. And people have to come to their own conclusion. But you don't get to tell nobody how to feel about something. You just really, really don't. And even when Cat Williams is addressing Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Phase on Love, and all this other stuff, even though he was like really funny and he said some funny shit, though, I don't think me personally, he gave his opinion about some shit that we've all seen over the years in entertainment, but he still didn't disrespect. Like, I mean, maybe Fat Phase on Love, I think that's Fat Lying Phase on, like, I think that's the most. Even that wasn't disrespectful. There's gutter butt disrespect. Corey Holcomb will gutter butt disrespect somebody, and I never felt like Cat got to that point. So I think Steven Jackson feel like he needing to step in or would need to shut that down. I don't see where that. You seen genius. You seen someone able to have a conversation and make you laugh at motherfuckers that he be laughing at, sitting at home laughing at. Like, I appreciate it.
I'm so live. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, go on everybody else page and tell them that too then.
And that's all I wanted to give you of that. Charles does go in and saying about pushback and all that about Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, to this not to be his, like, you know, true profession in terms of being a journalist, he was 100% right when he told Kat, I don't know these, you know, on set things, you know what I mean? These rumors or the things that really may have happened that the public don't know. I don't know these things, right? And I don't know these things until people sit down and tell me about these things. So when you are able, pushback is only used, like, you're only able to push back on things because you know about it, right? So if you listen to someone give an opinion about something or, you know, try to rewrite history and you know for damn sure you didn't read about it, yes, you are able to push back, or if you know something. But if I don't know that, there's just no way to provide pushback. So that I did disagree with Cat Williams in the interview. There was just no way that Shannon Sharpe would have known those things about in terms of Ricky Smiley and how he behaved on the set of Friday After Next. Like, how would he know that? You know what I mean? So there's room for that. So I like I said, I totally agree that Shannon was 100%. How do you know someone's lying? You don't know them for real. You weren't there to observe. You weren't there to see nothing. And he talked about, what's his name? Cedric the Entertainer. How do you let him sit there and lie? How the fuck do I know? Right? Like, it's literally that simple. But I wanted to give y'all that little snippet. Y'all know how we do it here. We keep it posh as F. We keep it black as F. We keep being bougie as F. And we keep being blessed as F. And y'all be black, y'all. Kiss, 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 kiss. And don't you forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.